Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cue It Up with the Q Brothers. I'm, of course, John Quattrucci.
And I'm Ralph Quattrucci, and this is us. Yeah.
No, that's your
This
thing.
goes good with the new music we have, though. Have you noticed?
Well, speaking of the new music, I have not been able to get that tune out of my head, and I want to.
It's like an earworm.
Give a special.
It's an earworm.
I want to give a special shout out to Chris Gallivan, who created the theme for us, and has copyrighted it, but has given us lifetime use of that tune.
So he gets royalties from our show if we ever make money on this thing?
Yeah, that's right. If we ever make money, he gets royalties. But right now, don't look for any royalties. Oh, okay. But we like it, and I also think I think he deserves some thanks because I know he put this out on his YouTube channel, and he connected with some people because we're getting a lot of hits on it.
Is that him right now?
Ringing.
Is that him?
No, that could be. It's Marie.
Does that thing ring?
I'll get that later. It's the bat phone, yeah.
I thought that thing was a Fugazi.
Oh, no, it's real. I can answer the phone. It's probably the commissioner.
Yeah. So sad.
Yeah. I can't take
sad.
this.
Is this thing going to keep going or what?
Well,
we're live we're live.
Apparently the phone's not getting picked up. So so anyway, I want to thank Chris for sharing that because we got a lot more hits than we normally get. And we appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that people can hear your theme.
Yeah.
So,
and all joking aside, it's a nice piece, so I appreciate it. I'm joking, but
he made some edits because when he gave me an original one and it didn't fit our opening, and Ralph, as the editor, wanted something that fit the opening time wise, which he wasn't used to doing. So he actually wrote a post about it and said he had to rethink how he does these things to fit the timeline. So he was really happy about it too. So again, thanks, Chris. It sounds great. And Ralph has not been able to stop humming that.
Well, normally you cut to a piece of music, but we had already edited things. So that's what happened there. But okay.
It worked out though, because it fits great. It looks great.
Hey, if it's getting us more views, so be it. People, can they download the song and just play it at home if they want?
Well, it's only 16 seconds, so they have to put it on continuous loop. I guess that would be exciting.
I guess you could do that.
So, Ralph, what have you been up to during the pandemic?
Nothing. Just working.
That's it, huh?
That's it.
Nothing special?
No, it's my son's 16th birthday today. Raphael. My youngest. And
Raphael is 16.
Yes, and in some countries like Sweden and stuff, they take their 16-year-old and send him out into the woods to see if they can hunt, bring back something, prove that you're a man.
Or take him to a brothel.
Either or. Okay, either or.
So what'd you do?
I was trying to get him to get on the podcast, see if he could man up and get on the podcast, and I just couldn't pull it off. He has too much homework to do. There were things that had to happen. I just don't think
too much homework.
Well, long story.
That, Raphael.
Long story. Because he has seen Tenet. I know you haven't mentioned what you're going to talk about, but
we don't do that this early. But.
Surprising, he was confused. So why are we here? What'd you do this week? I'm sorry.
I was going to talk about a movie, but I think I want to talk about Tom Brady.
Oh.
Now, anybody who knows me knows I'm a Patriots ticket season holder. I'm a huge Tom Brady fan. I have a bunch of signed Tom Brady memorabilia that I bought after he won his second Super Bowl because I said, you know what, 2 Super Bowls. This guy's got a good career. This stuff's going to be worth some money. Now, remember, that was 2 Super Bowls, okay? He's going to his 10th. And I know I'm a Tom Brady suck-up, okay? But it's just amazing to me. I'm 56 years old. I get out of bed, and my back is sore. My legs are sore. This guy's 43 years old, 21 years in the NFL, and he's going to his 10th Super Bowl. And I am happy for him, but I am absolutely amazed of what he's able to do in a league where the people who play are half his age. And to watch him play, it wasn't the best game. I mean, he when he needed to, he was great. I mean, he threw a couple of picks, but he made some unbelievable throws because people say, well, his arm isn't the same as it was, blah, blah, blah. He was great. And to watch him afterwards when they were interviewing him, how happy he was, because he wants to be out of the Belichick shadow. I completely get that. I'm just completely amazed by the guy. And watching him beat Aaron Rodgers, who I think this year was the best quarterback in football, and I only picked Green Bay. I did not pick Tampa, even though I wanted Tampa to win. I thought Green Bay was the better team, but they played awful. And Tampa Bay played well enough to win that game. Did you watch it?
I did, and I have all my Baltimore friends, all these people here of Ravens fans, texting me the whole game. Oh, did he deflate the balls? My one friend hates when he does the quick count when there's 12 people on the field because that's cheating, and I'm getting all.
What did he talk about? Aaron Rodgers, who is the best in football at that?
When they mention cheating, it's only Tom Brady. That's why I never go to Super Bowl parties here because I just can't stand listening to everybody.
So they're not even if they feel that way, they're not amazed by what this guy's been able to do.
I think they are, but they're never going to admit it. Are you kidding me? Would you? I hated all the Yankees, even Derek Jeter. I could acknowledge Derek Jeter's great, but would I ever root for him?
No. I never hated him as a Yankee.
No, I would never. But so what I did is when he threw how many picks did he throw? 3 or 2?
3.
He threw 3. That's what I thought.
3 out of 7 passes.
I texted them. I said, he's doing that to keep the other team in the game at least. He's being generous. This is Tom Brady. He's generous. He's keeping it close. But that coach for Green Bay needs to probably be fired. If not, he's going to be dragged out of town. Why he kicked a field goal with, what was they? 4th and goal? Yeah. It just makes no sense. I froze him. I frozen on your end?
Yeah, you are. But the particular, you look like Ali G.
I don't know what that is. Yeah, I have. Hang on a second. Give me a second.
Is it Ecamm?
It's no, it's my.
It doesn't freeze in Zoom.
It's my camera cam.
Oh,
weird.
Interesting.
All right, hang on a second.
So you want me to just riff a little bit?
Yeah, let me put you full screen and just talk. Go ahead. There you go. All to yourself. You must be so happy right now.
For all you Brady haters out there, look, I get why you hate him because you're not a fan of excellence, obviously. But I'm kidding. Even the people who hate him and have hated him and have given me crap over the years about him, how can you not be amazed by what he did? He went to a team that has never really been very good. Now they've got a lot of weapons on their team, and Bruce Arians, he's an all right coach. He's not a great coach, but he goes to that team, and I don't think anyone picked him to go to the Super Bowl. I knew they were going to be good. There you go. You're back. I knew they were going to be good. I didn't pick him to go to the Super Bowl. I just didn't see that. And to watch him, because what happened was the first half of the year they played okay, but then they had the bye. And the rumor is that Arians let Brady call more of the plays to do more of the short game like they did in New England, because Arians always likes to go down the field long. And ever since then, they played well. They won 3 games on the road, So I'm just amazed by it. I'm amazed by him. And frankly, he wants to play till he's 45, and there's nothing that he's done that hasn't shown me that he couldn't play till he's 45 and still be good. He's still one of the top 10 quarterbacks in football, and he's 43 years old. I mean, how do you do that at that age? And get to his – here's the other thing. There are some franchises who have been once or never gone to the Super Bowl, and he's going to go for his 10th time and 14 AFC championships.
Right.
I mean – it's mind-boggling, right? Yeah. So anyway,
he's a marvel. He's a marvel. There's no question. He takes care of himself. Listen, I'd want to stay alive and stay young if you got a hot wife like that and all the money. I mean, it's unbelievable, right? He's got the supermodel wife. They got zillions of dollars. He's got everything to live for. So you got to stay in shape.
How do you keep that drive?
I don't know. He's got a lot to prove. I guess it's a lot to prove.
But, I guess so. And, he wanted to win without Belichick. I get that, and I appreciate that.
Was everybody up there rooting for him? All you New England fans?
I think so. I mean, everything that I've seen, they were all supportive of. Look, you got a choice between Green Bay, who I like Aaron Rodgers, or Tom Brady. Why would you vote against Tom Brady? He was the franchise for 20 years. He gave you – I went to 11 AFC championship games. 11. I went to 11 of them. Because that's how many they had home. I mean, I would never root against him. I don't blame him for what he did because he knew the Patriots weren't going to be good this year.
Yeah.
He knew it. He knew he had no one to throw to. That team, who was okay, had a lot of weapons. Look, they won without Antonio Brown playing.
Right.
So if he can play in the Super Bowl, look, it's going to be a great Super Bowl. Them against the Chiefs, I think it's going to be a really great Super Bowl. And I'm going to root for Brady in the Super Bowl. I would like to see them win. And it's in Tampa Bay. First time in history, the home team has the Super Bowl. It's never happened before. So
that's terrific. Tom did that.
All
terrific
memorabilia.
Boom, through the roof.
Going up. Okay. All right. So that was it. So other than Raphael not getting on this.
My technical difficulties with my camera.
We did Wonder Woman. And,
what? Wait a minute. What?
We reviewed Wonder Woman, which I enjoyed because we haven't done that before with just one movie where we really broke it apart, our current movie. And so I said to Ralph, I've been hesitant to see Tenet because I heard a lot of things about it, and I just wasn't invested in watching this long movie and be confused. And that's kind of the thread I heard. So I said to Ralph, look, I'm going to watch it this weekend. Why don't we talk about Tenet? And my wife and I watched it, and Rose, it sounds like Raphael, she was actually going to be on it, but then she kind of hemmed and hawed. I'm going to tell you what she thought about it anyway without her getting on camera. Apparently she's in witness relocation or something. There's some reason she doesn't want to get on. So I wanted to talk to you about Tenet, and I've got strong opinions on this. And the sad thing is, so this will be the second time we do it, and I think it might not be as bad as Wonder Woman, but I don't think it's going to be a glowing one. So let's start with you. Christopher Nolan. It came out in 2020 during the pandemic. It was one of the first movies sent out to the movie theaters.
It was slated to save the movie theaters.
Right. And it didn't.
No.
It didn't.
As a matter of fact,
I think I know why.
I think it did the opposite.
The cast, I thought, was very good, although I've never seen Denzel Washington's kid, John David Washington. I haven't seen any movies he was in.
You have not seen BlacKkKlansman?
I have not. I thought he was really
great.
Good in this.
Yeah.
And the only names are really him, Robert Pattinson, and Kenneth Branagh. I would say,
Main, big names.
Yeah, Maine. Most of the cast I didn't recognize, although I want to make sure I give her props.
Elizabeth Debicki.
Elizabeth Debicki. I thought she was
great.
Really good. You know what's funny? I said to Rose, I go, man, that woman has really long legs, and all the outfits they're putting in make her look like a pencil. So of course I read some research on it. They did that purposely. She's 6'3", and they did that purposely. So you see the heels they gave her? They were like 4-inch heels to make her even taller. I thought she was really good in it, and I think she played a good role in it. But I want to ask you, what did you think of it? When did you see it, first of all?
Maybe a month and a half ago.
And did you watch it with anybody, or was it just you?
No, just me. What did I think? I think like any Christopher Nolan film, you have to put your thinking cap on.
Yeah.
And it started for me with Memento, right? That film with Guy Pearce, which starts backwards and starts at the end and goes to the beginning. This one, and I hear all the same complaints about his sound is always bad, and his plots are very complicated. Inception, I didn't quite, I watched it. It didn't quite get my fancy. I thought his Batman films were great, especially The Dark Knight. I thought was terrific. So I came into this movie kind of hearing that this is the one that's going to save the movie theaters, and he's been talking about this film. And he's a bit of a, he's a big, huge film snob too, right? He's always talking about only shooting on film, only shooting on IMAX. So he has a lot of big shoes to fill because he's the one saying, "I have big shoes, come fill them." Right. Then this movie comes on, and the actor you're talking about is named John David Washington. Yes, Denzel's son. Who, if you saw BlacKkKlansman, he was terrific. I mean, he was engaging. He was serious when he had to be. He's playing the first African American, I think, police officer in this racist town. But he ends up getting in with the Ku Klux Klan. Somehow he gets on the phone, talks like a white guy, gets in with the Klan. But Adam Driver played the guy who went in and did him, right? So this guy set it up. Adam Driver goes in as a Jewish guy in the middle of his Klan. It's a great film. My point is, he is such an engaging guy that when this movie, I don't know whose decision it was to tamp him down. Like, he was a very, stoic actor. Chose to play it stoic. Number one. Right. Two, I love time travel films. Okay. If they're simple and uncomplicated, this one is not simple or uncomplicated. And it's really time backwards travel. There's all kinds of stuff he was doing in this film that the whole time inverted. So they go in the invert and they're talking backwards and they're breathing. Right. They can't breathe. The whole time I'm watching the film, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Meanwhile, I'm losing plot devices and plot things that are happening. Now, once it happens, when these things happen, you go, oh, now I see what was going on an hour and a half before. That must be what, but now I'm doing that and I'm losing what's going on now. And Kenneth Branagh played a great villain. I kind of liked what they were doing with him, and the tall woman you're talking about was his wife, who this guy was working with. He was kind of like an African American James Bond. I mean, he played it like a secret agent.
Well, yeah, and that's
between
Nolan.
him.
Nolan did that purposely.
Yeah. And Pattinson, I thought, was good. I liked the two of them together, but the plot was so thick and so complicated that I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Convoluted.
And even by the end of it, when they kind of explain and you realize the whole thing is Memento, it's been a whole. He even talks about how Memento. He pitched Memento using the idea that a bullet gets sucked back into a gun, which is basically what's happening in this when they're doing that reverse gun stuff. So my feeling was it just didn't, and it's a long one too. It kind of goes on for a while.
It's 2 hours and 35 minutes.
And I wasn't engaged. I mean, I had to watch it because I was going to talk about it. I forget why I was watching it, or we were setting up the Drew
talked about it.
Drew's thing he did on our other podcast.
A completely unrelated movie show, right? He was playing the whole. In fact, I think he had the mask too.
He was great. No, he was
kept
great.
saying inversion. I'm inverted.
Well, we knew we were doing that. You guys had no clue what we were doing,
right?
And
you didn't let us in on that joke.
So I figured I had to watch it to kind of get it, and it didn't affect me. I didn't like it. I mean, I thought it was actually quite boring. But as always, Christopher Nolan sets up these great scenes, but like even that big. We can talk about it. That big war scene that happens, or whatever that scene is, where everybody's fighting everybody, and you can't quite. Meanwhile,
some are running backwards, some are running forward.
Right. Anyway, so I just found it way too complicated. Now, again, you're not sitting in a movie theater, right? Because when you sit at home,
you're not seeing an IMAX.
And when you sit at home,
you filmed the whole thing in IMAX, right?
I think so. But my point is you're distracted at home more than you would be sitting in a movie theater. And I think that adds to the complication of trying to figure out what's going on because, you get your phone. I don't know. You can't immerse yourself completely.
There's some truth there.
Right?
There's some truth
so you're not immersing yourself
that,
completely in what's going on. And you kind of, and if you're not, there's a lot of stuff going on that you have to kind of, anyway.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Obviously.
Okay. Well, first of all, I did immerse myself in it, okay? So I was not distracted because I knew his scripts are always complicated. Like I loved Inception. I loved Inception way more than this movie. This movie, to me, was really great set pieces that were connected by stuff I didn't understand at all. I didn't understand the technology. Right. I didn't understand the logic of the time travel. Like you said, you like time travel movies. What's your favorite time travel movie?
Favorite?
If you were to pick one, when you think of good time travel,
it's obviously Back to the Future.
Okay, same with me because it made sense, and they explained it. Even though it's fantasy, even though it's not real. They explained it, and there were things that you couldn't do and things you could do. So it made sense. And at the end, when everything changed, he explained that earlier. This movie doesn't explain anything.
Nothing.
There's an algorithm, and I don't even know what the algorithm does.
Yeah.
But now, does it take place in the world we live in? Does it take place way in the future? How far in the future, if it does? Kenneth Branagh, who I like, was a Bond villain, right? One minute he's all, I'm Russian, I talk like this. Next minute he's beating her up. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting, I suppose. But the thing that bothered me the most, and I read reviews on this, and apparently he does this a lot. The dialogue, you couldn't hear. So what I had to do was, I had to turn it up to listen to the dialogue, then turn it down when the action scenes happened, because you were getting your ears blown away because the volume was up so high. And I don't understand that. Even that opening scene when they're all in the gas masks, which some of the exposition is happening then, you couldn't understand what anybody was saying.
Right.
So I was like, this doesn't make any sense. So when it was over, I turned to Rose and I said, well, what did you think? She goes, well, I liked when they crawled up the buildings. I thought that was really cool. And I liked the beginning, the action in the beginning, but I didn't understand any of it. I didn't understand why things were happening. Even when they went back, or they did a scene way at the end that related to a scene way in the beginning, that you really had to pay attention to remember what happened back there, right? When they were inverting and all that stuff. it still didn't make any sense to me. What was the motivation behind it? Why was he going to blow up the world? What exactly was going to happen if that thing exploded? You know, if his by the way, spoiler alert, when his little heart monitor went off, and that even scene at the end didn't ring true to me because she knew the world was going to blow up, but she did it anyway, which didn't make sense to me. The wife. When she shot him, the whole world was going to end.
Right.
But she didn't care because she wanted him to know she was the one behind it.
Right.
So the question is she really the protagonist or is the other guy? Because that was his name. He was the protagonist.
I know.
But it seems to me she's the one that was.
And they made a big deal out of the relationship she had with him that was instant, right? They met. It made. Right. It just was all. I'm not going to say all over the place because it had to be intricate. Can you imagine shooting that thing?
No.
What he put those people through.
How about reading a script? No, how about reading a script for this thing?
That crew had the board they must have had with all that stuff on there to explain when they're in this part of the scene because you know what's going on and once you figure that out, I guess. Now, what do you think if you watched it a second time? Would that clear things up?
I don't know. I read a bunch of reviews that said once I watched it the second time, it all started to click. Right. Look, I'm not going to say I'm the most sophisticated movie watcher in the world, but I'm pretty good with that stuff, right? It just maybe this secret code that I didn't know. It made no sense to me. Some of it made sense, but most of it didn't because, like I said, I didn't understand the whole technology behind the time travel. They never even attempted to explain it.
Well, but the time
how that technology even exists.
Well, wasn't it hand delivered? Wasn't it delivered by some future us or something? And that whole when they
came from the future,
picking things up backwards or something. I mean,
it came from the future.
That's what I mean. If you can't, if this is what we're doing and we have no idea what the film was, what's the point? I mean, what's he doing?
But visually, it was stunning.
Yeah,
there are scenes in that movie that are so Christopher Nolan that are stunning. And the other thing I love about Christopher Nolan, and I love this, he does almost all practical effects. Okay. So what you see happens. What these guys do, they're actually doing. John David Washington said he's a big runner. He's an athlete. He played football in college. He said he couldn't run for a month after this movie because of physically what he was put through.
Well, he had to do everything 3-4 times. I mean, that's the other thing.
That's right. I mean, that's right. But that, I can appreciate that part of it. Yeah.
But does it make a good Does it make a good film? The answer is no.
I don't think it does.
If you can't
If you can't understand it.
Right.
And he doesn't really make an attempt to explain it. They can say, well, you just got to watch it a few times and then you'll get it. Yeah, I don't buy that. I mean, you go to a movie for that experience when you sit down and watch the movie. You don't want to have to go back 4 times to figure out the plot.
No, and most times,
I don't want that.
Other than Back to the Future, which kind of laid it all out, there's a movie called Primer. There's a lot of these time travel films where people, and even Memento's the same way, where things overlap on each other.
Right.
And,
Time Cop.
Right,
Time
yes.
Cop did it.
Yes, and, there's rules, supposedly. There's rules. Right. You can't do this, can't do that. But this one, he expects you to kind of keep up and, without the big chart on the wall to know what the hell scene I'm looking at, it's like I have no idea where I was. You kind of a little bit towards the end as you see scenes, like I said, but you saw them an hour and a half earlier.
Well, right. Like when they went in the bank and the 2 guys with the masks.
That's right.
Why did he go? You knew something was, it clicked a little bit.
Yes, because he turned and he goes, but
right.
That took another hour and 10 minutes for you to get to that part that explained what just happened an hour and 10 minutes ago.
I will say that airplane scene, they really did that because they had a big plane that was in some junkyard.
I heard that.
Which is cool. I mean, you could tell, too. You could tell that wasn't fake.
I like that kid. That's a kid from Yesterday who was in that, did the plane. The guy who played the lead Yesterday.
Yeah, he was funny.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't a lot of humor in the movie.
But he was the one in the boat waiting for her to...
And when the guy put the 1 gold bar in his vest.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just, I understand why this movie didn't do well internationally because, frankly, it just didn't make any sense. Well, some of it. I mean, some of it made sense. Most of it didn't. And Robert Pattinson, I thought, was good. But even his character was shady, but they never really explained why he was kind of shady. And then at the end, he ends up really being the hero because he's the guy that was, there to save those 2. That's what I mean. It was just,
And he says, how's he ended? He's going to meet you. I'm going to meet you again. I mean, that whole thing was, he was there from the beginning.
Right. And he said, we've known each other a long time, but when we meet, you're not going to know that.
Right. I mean, right away you go, what?
Right. And that's what
I need.
I was like,
I need some clarity.
God.
I know that the belt buckle thing or whatever it was, it gave away that it was him. I mean,
on his backpack.
Right. It's like a button. They zoom in. It's that old Chekhov's. They're going to the cutaway for a reason.
Yeah.
I get it.
Right.
Okay. So, but I mean, the money he spends.
What did Raphael think?
I think he was confused.
Yeah.
I mean, I can try to get him on. I'll email him, see if he'll come on, but I don't think he will. He was just confused. I can't imagine this is the time travel movie he decides to, try. I mean, this is impossible.
Yeah. No. I was very disappointed. So that's two new movies that we saw that, I mean, this wasn't as bad as Wonder Woman 1984. That was a bad movie. This was a confusing movie and difficult to follow.
Well, but
I did appreciate the big action scenes. I appreciated that. And the action scenes in Wonder Woman I thought were terrible.
Yeah. But
because it was all CGI. This is real stuff, which
but
I like.
They're both bad for different reasons. Right?
Yes. But I don't have as much disdain for it as I do as Wonder Woman.
Well, because you're right. I can see that because, I imagine if you saw this on an IMAX, it would be impressive. But again, without a story, without being able to connect things and make it
palatable, the story wouldn't have been any clearer.
No.
You know what I'm saying? The story would not have been clear. The action scenes would probably looked a hell of a lot better.
I mean, was the whole MacGuffin, was the whole purpose they had to stop? The Russian guy found something when he was a kid that gave him the secret to being able to...
The plutonium or whatever.
To be able to go back and forth in time, and he's able to make money. I can't...
I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
Right.
So maybe I don't know if they adapted the screenplay to a book, but I might be willing to read the book because they might explain some more stuff.
Yeah, because I had the impression that because he found it, now these people from the future gave him all the secrets, and the secrets are going to die with him. If he dies, they all die. It all goes with them.
They made it sound like the world would end
if he
that
died?
Thing went off. If he died, because he was connected to that bomb, whatever that.
Right. If his heart stopped,
I don't know if it was a bomb. Yeah,
if his heart stopped,
it was a dead man switch.
So
that's
why he's always checking his pulse.
Which he didn't find out till almost 2/3 of the movie was over. That's why when she shot him, I was like, okay, so you're going to be responsible. He's not going to be responsible for everyone dying. You are.
Right.
So she made that choice.
Yeah.
Now the timing of it worked out, but I was like, well, that's an interesting. I just can't do this, she said. I just can't do this.
Right.
And she was the woman that was diving off the boat that they showed at the beginning.
Yeah.
Who said they didn't know who the woman was. So they kind of tied that. But again, my whole thing was I don't understand the technology. I don't understand the time travel theory that they were trying to show. It made no sense to me. The visual stuff when they went backwards and you've got one army going forward, one army going backwards. The car chase scenes, which were done practically. So stunt guys were driving their cars backwards. That was pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, that kind of stuff was interesting when he gets in the car.
How do they do that, right?
And the car...
And they were going...
Yeah, it's backwards but forward, and he's trying to... Yeah.
Well, some were back... Well, in their own realities, they were going forward. But even the rules of when you're in the inverted world, you're going to be disoriented, you're going to have trouble driving.
Breathing.
But
they adapted pretty quickly. I mean, could you get in a car that quick and be able to figure out that left is right is left, up is down, down is down, I got to do this, I got to do that? No, you wouldn't. And that's the problem with these.
But the one scene that I liked was when Kenneth Branagh threw the case and it bounced off the gray car into the other car. Now, in the inverted world, you find out it was John David Washington, which you didn't know in the
But see, again, if you have to do that to sit through a film... I don't want to do homework while I'm watching a movie. I mean, that's the problem.
I don't mind thinking during a movie, but
that's different than having to do
from the start till the end.
It never ends, right?
Right. There's no letdown of the thinking. Even when you're watching the action scenes, which are wonderful, you're thinking about the logic of it.
It's so true. It's just too much.
Some things were blown up. Other things were coming back. And I'm like, I don't
But
understand.
I want to
this
know
sign.
who thought, like, what executive, or does he have total autonomy?
Yeah.
What executive looked at this and said, "We got to get this in the movie theater. People are gonna love this." Can you imagine?
Because it was big, it was IMAX, it was Christopher Nolan,
Right.
so they figured all that's going to work, and that also will work internationally because Inception did so well, but it didn't. I mean, they were wrong. I mean, the box office proves that.
Yeah.
So, I was disappointed. I mean, Christopher
this
Nolan
guy's
is
good. William, this guy, what's his name again?
John David Washington.
He's good, but he's no Leo DiCaprio, right? He's not. You know, that's where Inception kind of got some other stuff. And
yeah, no, he's not.
But he's great. Look, John, you got to watch Black Klansman. You got to go watch that.
I will. I just never seen
not only
it.
is he great, Adam Driver's terrific in that film. It's amazing.
But he gets into the
and you'll
Klan.
see,
So
you'll see, like,
is it a comedy?
No, but it's
he gets
Spike
into the
Lee.
Klan?
It's Spike Lee.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay.
He uses the white voice. He calls it, not accidentally. He does it on purpose, but they totally buy into it. And the guy from that '70s show plays David
Kurtwood
Duke.
Smith.
No, the young guy. He was in Spider-Man as that stupid.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah,
he's got a funny name.
He played Venom.
Yeah,
he played Venom.
Yeah, he was great as David Duke, and it's based on a true story, a real guy. This happened to a real person. And,
what exactly is a white voice? By the way, I want to know what that is.
Do I have to? Like when Eddie Murphy used to go, come on, Eddie, remember that scene he did where he gets on the bus?
White like me.
White like me. Come on, everybody, let's go.
Yeah. Hey, I'm here to purchase a paper. No, you don't have to pay for it. You don't have to pay for it. What? Nobody's here. I'll have to check it out.
Check it out.
And I thought,
and you'll be like, why did they let this kid go? Let him go. He's great. I mean, his father's the same way. His father's, but
you know what?
Denzel is a whole nother.
It's funny. It's funny because there were some line readings that he did that he sounded just like his father.
Yeah.
That's another movie I want to see. That one, The Little Things, I think it's called.
Yeah, the one
with Denzel. That looks good.
Yeah.
With Jared Leto as a serial killer. Yeah. I want to see that.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so that's our review. I guess we'll make.
And
this
look,
one
it's not getting good
most.
reviews. I can't imagine this thing. This thing's just like Wonder Woman. I don't think it's getting.
The reviews I read all say the same thing. It's too confusing. The ones who give it a good review say, "I watched it 3 times." I'm sorry, I don't need to watch a movie 3 times to have to understand it.
I thought about putting the open captions on there so I could tell that's the other thing, so I can tell what's going on.
Well, that might not be a bad move because there were lines I just couldn't even hear.
Well, he went through that with all of these, and that Bane, the whole Bane thing. It's like and what's the other the Dunkirk. You got Tom Hardy behind that mask too.
Yeah. I like Dunkirk.
Yeah, it was good.
At least you understood what the hell was going on in Dunkirk.
Exactly.
Even in Inception, as weird as that movie was, at least they took the time to explain the dream world. When DiCaprio's with Ellen Page there, he's explaining the whole thing to her, so you kind of understood it. Now, the thing at the end where he spins the top. It's not clear that he's in the dream world or the real world.
Don't do that. Okay, don't do that.
But I'm just saying, at least I understood that movie.
Yeah. And Memento made sense, right? Memento starts and, yes, it goes backwards, but at least it.
Right.
And I just don't think this would. Now, having said that, once you kind of figured out what happened at the end, you feel slightly satisfied and you kind of forget that you just spent the last 2 hours going, what the F is going on? I can't figure out this thing. And then Pattinson does that thing.
Well, then he shows up in the car and takes out the Indian woman, which is like, what?
Turns out he started the whole thing. I mean, it's all, again, you can't.
Because that was the first scene where you met the girl.
Right.
The woman.
Right.
Was that scene.
Right.
Right? When she looked at that car that he was in.
Yeah.
At the very beginning. So, okay, interesting. But so again, why was that woman bad? I don't know. Why did she have to be taken out? I didn't clearly understand that. Okay. Anyway, so you give it a cue it up or a cue it down?
I say cue it down. Maybe if you watch it 7 times, you might figure out what's going on. 6.
I'm going to give it a cue it down. I would watch it closed caption and maybe watch it 4 times.
4.
But if you want a good time travel movie, I recommend Time Cop and the first Back to the Future.
No, you mean a fun.
That's what I recommend.
You don't mean good. You mean fun. Time Cop.
No, I mean good. I think Time Cop is a good movie. I like Time Cop.
If you want one, Primer's a good one. Time After Time is a good one. Remember that old one from the 70s?
With Malcolm McDowell.
That's fantastic, right?
Yeah, I love that movie. H.G. Wells. He played H.G. Wells.
Right.
David Warner.
That's where he met his wife, Mary Steenburgen, who was also in Back to the Future 3.
Back to the Future Part 3.
She was bouncing between all kinds of timelines.
Yeah.
Also, did you ever see...
that's a good movie. That's a good call.
Safety Not Guaranteed. Did you ever see that one?
Mm-mm.
About a guy who...
Safety Not Guaranteed.
He writes an ad saying, if you want to time travel with me, but your safety's not guaranteed, you come meet me. It's a great little indie film. With
Who's in it?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
No, just put it up in post.
The kid from The Good Girl, that guy, and the girl from Community, that woman, and the guy who does movies with his brother, that guy. Those three are in it.
The guy who does movies with his brother.
The Duplats. He's one of them.
Duplats?
The Duplats.
Oh, I don't know who that
I'll
is.
get him right now. Hang on. Think about that for a second.
No, just do
you
it
want to
in
go
post.
full screen?
Go
full screen.
People don't have to watch us do research.
Go full screen because now I want to go. Can't you? Here you go. Yeah, Audrey Plaza. Like I said, Community.
Oh, okay. Aubrey Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza. Mark Duplass. Jake Johnson.
I've never heard of that movie.
Jurassic Park. He was the one wearing the Jurassic Park T-shirt in Jurassic Park.
No, I know who that is.
Yeah,
but
Mark Duplass. You don't know?
Movie.
Oh, there's a great creepy movie he's in called
Creep. Is it Netflix?
It's probably on Netflix now.
Netflix?
Probably. You got to see his movie called Creep. Mark Duplass did a movie called Creep. Definitely watch that.
Is it like The Perfection?
Yeah. Not
By
quite,
the way,
our
other podcast has 289 hits.
Which one?
The Western Roulette.
What the heck is going on?
Are we
starting to grab hold out there?
Yeah, I think so. So we're gonna have to get on Patreon because you guys want to support our channel.
Yeah,
I know you do.
Is that how this works?
Would
people pay to listen to us talk? I don't think so.
I would.
Oh well.
Mom might. Dad won't.
Dad will not. I don't blame him.
I don't think so. Our family won't even get on these things.
You can get it for
free.
By
the way, Marie said, "Hey, wouldn't it be nice to do a sibling podcast?"
Oh my God!
I said, Marie, you don't even. We asked you to get on this. None of you would get on it. Yeah. Now you want to do a sibling podcast?
No, we're good.
Forget it.
We're good. These two.
Anyway,
these two siblings are enough.
That's enough. So anyway, that's our review of Tenet. Very disappointed.
Were we a little too harsh? Maybe.
I don't. Well, no. I think Wonder Woman. That was about as harsh as it's going to get.
We were kind to most people.
We'll have to. I'm going to think about the next one, what we can talk about next. But I like these current movie review shows every now and then. I think it's good. And we also want to do two Qs and a Drew and get Kelly back too, because she had a little excitement to our podcast. So somewhere down the road, we'll bring them on for another show.
Yeah, they're fun.
I'm sure Drew would have loved to have been on this one. But after that debacle that he did on Yippee-Ki-Yay, I couldn't do it. He shot his wad on that one, I think.
Yeah, but he knows. He was good. Yeah, no, he
was great. In fact, I sent him a text after I watched the movie, and he agreed with me. I was just like, man, that was one confusing movie.
Yeah,
but anyway, so listen, that's it. Tell Raphael happy birthday.
I mean, how pissed would you have been if you paid $15 for that film? If you go to the movie theater,
you mean in a movie? Oh, you mean
if you had to pay $15. Now, I guess you saw it streaming. How'd you see it?
Yeah, I saw it streaming.
Okay, so you're paying what? What'd you have to pay? $6?
It was $6 to rent it. Yeah,
imagine paying 15, or if you bring 3 people with you, like a family, let's say.
Yeah.
$45, and you're going, what the?
Look, if I'm going to go to the movie theater to watch a movie for the first time, I would have been upset if it was this one. Although, to be honest, I think I would have liked to have seen this in IMAX just to see the visuals. But yeah, I would have thought it was a waste of money.
I mean, here's what my theory on this stuff is. I miss going to the movies, no question. But I think most of these movies that we're seeing, like Wonder Woman and this one, I think they all realize that these things, the reason they put them on streaming so quickly and just gave it up, is they knew that they were losers. They knew it. They knew that if Tenet was going in the movie theater, it would tank.
I don't know if I think they thought that about Wonder Woman. I don't think I agree with that on Tenet.
Oh my
I think
God.
They thought they had a blockbuster.
Oh my God!
That's why
who could have thought that? Who could have watched this and thought that?
Well, because again,
who wasn't
it's like
working on the film.
It's like a Hitchcock movie. You put his name on it. Spielberg. People will go see it because of who directed it, and they're right. And that's why it did what
That'll
it
get
did.
them there the first weekend, but after
that's
that,
right. But that's exactly right.
That's what I'm saying.
Once word of mouth came out, and realized, no, too confusing.
And now he's railing against HBO
Warner
Max.
Brothers. He's leaving Warner Brothers.
I know.
He's leaving Warner Brothers. So,
I mean, listen,
Whatever.
I
So-
like his integrity, the fact that he still shoots on film, and he's adamant about that. I mean, there's something to be said for that. But again, there's also something to be said that movies are supposed to be, you're supposed to not have to be. Yes, there's sometimes you go and you got to, immerse yourself. But sometimes you just want to go and not have to think about it. You want kind of things explained and just make it easy. But whatever.
Well, you look at the Dark Knight trilogy, which I think are the best three especially the second one.
I saw 3 of those in one night. We went to a special screening of all 3 of those.
Really?
The night the third one came out, we did 6 hours in a row.
The third one was okay. The second one was
classic.
Was so good. Yeah. And other than Superman, which to me is the best superhero movie, I think I've told you that before. Yeah. I think it's the best superhero movie that they've made, even better than all the Marvel ones.
Yeah, who cares?
Because it was grounded in a bit of reality.
Right.
And everything's practical. You look at the Avengers. Avengers looks like a cartoon now because everything's CGI.
I know.
Doesn't mean I don't love the movies, but I thought, and that's why I go to Christopher Nolan movies because of that. Yeah. And I think he also, he's going on his reputation now where they'll let him do anything he wants. And I think he takes the audience for granted a little bit because it's a Christopher Nolan movie, and you have to know when you go into it, you got to really think. And that if you're not willing to do that, then you're not the right person for my movie. That's what I think part of it is.
You know what? He may be right. He may be right. So guess what?
He's going to lose audience because of it,
I don't think he really cares, to be honest with you. And
he will when his movies don't make any money.
But he'll always throw one in there for the dummies like me.
Well, good. And I'll look forward to it.
Exactly.
All right, so that's it. No football next weekend.
Huh?
And then we got the Super Bowl.
Right.
On February 7th.
Are there going to be parties up there in Massachusetts? What's going on?
There's going to be. Well, they're opening everything up. I don't know if you knew that or not. So they're removing a lot of the restrictions. So
what?
I'm gonna have a few people over. Yeah. Nothing big, not like I usually do.
I mean, lift them up privately, or are they gonna let people in restaurants?
They're gonna let people in restaurants. They're letting them stay open later. So they are. They're removing New York, California. They're all doing that. Okay. They're all removing. In fact, California was in lockdown.
We're just giving up.
Home lockdown.
I understand.
And they've gotten rid of that.
I understand.
So it's a miracle.
It's a miracle. Well, let's say it's Biden did that. I can't believe it. Way to go. Come on, man. Joe.
I honestly
Come on, man. Take your mask off. Let's go. We got to get the country open.
I honestly feel that since Biden was elected, the science of COVID has changed radically. And as a guy who wants the country to open up, I'm all in. Yep. In fact, I'm gonna start doing some work where I'm gonna be out traveling like the old days. So I'm really looking forward to it because I can't stand being locked up in the house anymore. So anyway,
how do you think Rose feels? Is Rose okay? Is Rose okay with you leaving?
I hope, as always, if you like what you're hearing, please subscribe, share it, and hit the notification button. It really does help us expand our audience.
I have a button now. I'm going to put at the beginning, and I'm going to put it up when you said that. Movie Strange. Nice. Movie Strange, we have our own button. So I'll put it on ours.
So anyway, that's a
moviestrangeshow.com.
It's a non-existent show.
Moviestrangeshow.com.
He's got like 9 episodes. So everyone stay safe. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week. Ralph, again, tell Raphael happy birthday.
I will.
And we'll talk next week.
All right. Let's go out with the music that Chris gave us.
Oh, I love it.